speaker is Lori Beth Gregory, followed by Junko Irike.
Good evening. My name is Lori Beth Gregory, and I am a resident here in Riverside downtown. I come before you tonight to speak about the historic Riverside Chinatown site. As many people have already brought up, the developer for the site began construction prematurely on Valentine's Day weekend. Jacobs began excavation on the site and continued on Sunday and Monday, a federal holiday, violating city ordinances. So I'd like to highlight, the irresponsible manner in which the developer has acted, and I'd like to ask you to please hold Jacobs responsible for his actions and to consider supporting the preservation of the historic Chinatown site. Thank you.
Thank you. And Junko?
Hello, my name is Junko, and I'm a former UCR student, and I currently live in Upland, and I go to Claremont Graduate University. And for my senior seminar in ethnic studies, I researched the Chinese population and the Chinatown in Riverside. And when I was doing my research, I remember how excited I was to find out about the Chinatown and the Chinese in Riverside. And I remember it was kind of like, wow, I found Riverside's kind of a lost hidden treasure kind of thing. And I remember telling my friends about it, kind of like, did you know Riverside had a Chinatown? And all of them were, they were like, no, really? Where, And although this was a kind of a cool experience for me, and of course the project was amazing, and I've actually used this paper in this project getting into graduate school and everything. I found a lot of things wrong with this anecdote. One was obviously that everyone that I asked, nobody knew what the Riverside Chinatown was, and nobody knew this kind of booming Chinese population in Riverside. So I know about the Chinatown in Riverside because I took, I went to UCR, I took ethnic studies, and I did extra research, but I questioned about, everyone else. And I think putting, the structure on the actual Chinatown site, I question what will that do for these other people who don't know about the Chinatown and Riverside Chinese people. Will they find out about Riverside Chinese people? And I mean, if you take away the physical place that the Chinese people in Riverside called home, you take away opportunities for more people to know about the Riverside Chinese and the Riverside Chinatown. So I just ask you to think about the opportunities for learning, for growth, and I mean, for me, Riverside, and I think a lot of people, hopefully for all of you, Riverside represents education, because for me, I went to UC Riverside. It represents learning, for culture, and I just don't want you to take away these opportunities for learning and for the opportunity to learn about, Riverside's history. Thank you.
Thank you. Next two speakers is, I may mispronounce, Han Kwao and Rosalind Sagara.
Hi, Han Kwok, Moreno Valley. Some of the other speakers have alluded to the violations that occurred over the Valentine's Day weekend. I chose to write it out for you, so here it is. You could keep this, by the way. I listed at least 5 violations. One is which is that over the Valentine's Day weekend, they brought heavy equipment that that emitted black smoke, which violates AQMD air quality standards. They also used heavy equipment on a Sunday and a federal holiday, which is against city ordinance and the permit requirement. Number 3, the site supervisor was ordered by the police to stop work on February 15th. The work continued, so they were cited by the police for their unlawful work. The next day, on February 16th, that was the holiday, they were also ordered by the police to stop work because they could not produce any documents saying that they had a variance to work on that day. And lastly, they had a failure to provide stormwater pollution plans as required. I don't know if you're aware of these violations. I don't know if you were aware that this was going on over that weekend, but I hope this isn't what you guys approved, because this is pretty shameful. And it's pretty shameful that despite all the efforts to come up with a treatment plan, I know I don't agree with it, but how can you spend so much time coming up with a treatment plan and he says it's basically done after a couple of days on a nationally registered historic site, one of the most important sites in this city? I hope you did not vote for this plan. I hope you don't support it as it is, as he conducted it over that weekend, and I hope you won't support it in the future, this kind of behavior. All right, thank you.
Members of the City Council, my name is Rosalind Segarra, and I am a member of the Save Our Chinatown Committee. I'm here this evening to share with you my own personal account of what occurred at the Chinatown site on Valentine's Day, February 14th to President's Day, February 16th. I was one of the community members who was monitoring the activity on the site. This is my own personal account. The reason why I want to share this information with you is because on various occasions I've heard many of you state your great interest in telling the story of Riverside's Chinatown. And what happened this Valentine's Day weekend at Chinatown is part of that story. On Valentine's Day, by 7 a.m., Brewski Grading, Inc., hired by Doug Jacobs, brought heavy equipment to the Chinatown site and began work. Words cannot express the dismay my fellow members and our supporters felt when we saw more than 10 pieces of heavy equipment rambling up and down the site with little to no observation on the part of the archaeological firm that has been hired to work on the Chinatown excavation. In fact, on Saturday, the lead archaeologist on the project did not arrive to the site until just before 9 a.m., a full 2 hours after activity on the site began. Is this the kind of professionalism our community is to expect from IFC Jones and Stokes? On Sunday, again, work began by 7 a.m. Local residents called the police to report the violation of the city noise ordinance. When the police arrived on the scene, they ordered the project manager to stop work. He claimed first that the police department had given Jacobs a verbal okay. Then later he said that the city council had given Jacobs the okay to perform work during the holiday weekend. He refused to stop and was cited. Monday, the same thing happened. The police was called to the site. A citation was given because the project manager refused to stop work. We have video that shows everything that I've just conveyed to you. I would ask you today, is it true that the City Council gave Doug Jacobs the okay to work in violation of city code restrictions on Sunday and Monday, a federal holiday? I don't think so. Mike Gardner, I spoke with you on the site, and you said you didn't believe that was true. So as a concerned community member, I ask, how will you restore your good faith efforts to do this project right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.